All right, let's talk weather. Hi, everybody. Carson Meredith with you. It is 7:16 on Sunday night, October 6, 2024. Thank you for stopping by. I've got a nice quiet forecast to talk about tonight. So we will discuss that. We will discuss the cold front that is moving through as we speak. The fall air is not too far behind, and we're going to talk about how long it's going to stay. And of course, we'll have an update on now Hurricane Milton. Here we go again. Another hurricane in the Gulf, and this is going to be trouble for Florida. So we'll have an updated look at that as well. But thankfully, Milton will not be an issue for us. It will not be an issue for the Carolinas. And we got a lot of sunshine and cooler temperatures to enjoy. Comments we go. Weather Geek, good evening. Off with the AC, on with the furnace. We're getting there, especially with these morning lows this week. You guys are going to notice here at our 10-day that it's going to be a little chilly each of those mornings for the week ahead. So maybe some free AC, but might be a little too cool for free AC, to be honest with you, Weather Geek. Judah says, good evening. Beautiful day, ready for the cooler air. Yeah, it was another nice day indeed. It was a little warmer than yesterday. Some might say hot. We did get close to 90. We hit 89 in Louisville. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised when we get our next recap of the day here in about an hour or so if we did, in fact, hit 90 this afternoon. You never know, right? You never know when the 90s just won't quit. The United Meteorological Association says hello. Hope you are well. They're on YouTube. Angela says good evening. Looks like Milton is heading for Sarasota. Yeah, this is going to be a major issue for Tampa Bay. The Tampa, St. Petersburg area, Sarasota. It's not good. It's not good. I'll have an update on it here in just a few minutes. Jocelyn says good evening. Yes, I will be talking about Milton tonight. Adam's watching from Bloomington, as always. Had friends over for football, and they kept asking if the AC was on. Yeah, it still doesn't feel like football weather, right? But that's going to be changing here in pretty short order. So here we go. Look at that sunset, guys. How about that? From downtown Louisville on our SkyTrack camera. There is a haze out there. That is partially thanks to some wildfire smoke from out west. No air quality concerns, nothing like that, but definitely giving us a little more vibrant sunset tonight, I guess we can call it. But all in all, it's winding down what has been a very nice day. Still warm here in Louisville. That cooler air has not arrived just yet. It's on its way. 83 is where we are at Muhammad Ali International Airport as of 7 o'clock this evening. More sunset shots. Ooh, that was close. That is a view from our Kentucky Mesonet cameras. Bullitt, Adair, Shelby, Taylor County. Very, very nice evening underway. Upper 70s outside of Louisville. Very, very nice. And I'm not going to spend too much time on our forecast here at home because, well, there's not much to talk about for the first time in a long time, right? Radar's quiet. If you were watching us last night, we were talking about that tiny chance for a little blip that might pop up on radar in our southern counties this evening. That really no longer appears to be the case. Well, I'll watch radar, of course, as the evening goes on. But, even if a shower did pop up, it wouldn't last more than 5 or 10 minutes, and then it would fizzle out. So we're looking pretty good for the rest of your evening. Let's zoom things out. Look where the front is, right along the Ohio River. So it is in wave country as we speak, kind of splitting wave country in half, right down the mighty Ohio. So if you're in southern Indiana, the cold front has already pushed through. Here in Louisville, that front is pretty much on top of us as we speak. Southern Kentucky, it'll take a little while longer for that front to scoot through, and that's why we'll keep an eye on radar just in case a shower pops up over the next few hours. The big story with this cold front is there's not any moisture with it here in our backyard. That's why we haven't seen any rain or storms. The better forcing, the better moisture, the better overlap of all those ingredients is off to our north and east, actually. Decent little line of severe storms across New York, western New York, western Pennsylvania, and into Ohio. In fact, let's zoom in on that because this line of storms might keep me and my colleagues here at Wave here a little longer than we'd like to tonight. There is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right there. And you notice the northern suburbs of Pittsburgh have severe thunderstorm warnings. The reason I'm showing you this is because Sunday Night Football on Wave and NBC tonight is in Pittsburgh as the Cowboys take on the Steelers. So I would not be surprised if that game gets delayed by this line of storms rolling through. Put radar into motion. You see how those storms just kind of blew up earlier today, right in here, just east of Cleveland, Ohio, and they are taking off. Actually had a few tornado warnings with this line of storms earlier this evening. But right now, it's just severe thunderstorm warnings. This line continues to push east. It'll be in Pittsburgh, I'd say, within the hour. So right around kickoff time for that football game tonight on Sunday Night Football. So if you're watching the NFL tonight, see there's a lightning delay, blame it on this. And hopefully that lightning delay is not long, because I don't know if you guys will stay up to watch my forecast on Wave News at 1 a.m. I may be barely awake at 1 a.m. But anyway, that's where all the moisture and better forcing and things like that are with this cold front. Back here at home, not a lot. It's a quiet cold front. We like quiet cold fronts. All you saw with it was a few clouds earlier today. And the breeze, it was kind of breezy today, but not too bad. Back to the comments we go. Let's see. Judy is watching in Marion County. Hope you're well, Judy. Watching on Facebook. Amanda says hello from Bardstown, waiting on the cooler temperatures. They're getting there. They're getting there, Amanda, I promise you. And, remember, a lot of times with cold fronts like this, the cold air is a little bit behind. It's lagging just a little bit, but it will move in tonight, I promise you. Let's see. Adam asks, is that rain or clutter or birds on the local radar? That's just ground clutter. Yeah, that's just ground clutter. It might honestly be some of that haze in the air that radars are picking up. There hasn't been any showers that I've seen on radar today. So, yeah, just good old-fashioned ground clutter is all that is, my friend. Steve says, hope we don't get any wind with the cold front. Had a pretty rough storm in Litchfield recently. We've had some gusts around 20, 25 miles per hour today, but that's not enough to cause any issues at all. So no huge concerns about that. Michael says hello. Richard's got a good question. When's the next rain chance? Well, we really don't have much of any in the next 10 days. I'll show you on the 10-day earliest alert here in a few minutes, but yeah, we're really drying things out. And just as quickly as we get out of the drought from all the rain we had with Helene at the end of September, we may be going right back into a drought because we've got a long dry stretch now underway. But yeah, there's not much rain on the way, Richard, I'm afraid. Instead, for tonight, it's all quiet, mostly clear, cool. I've got a forecast low of 53 here in Louisville. If you live outside the city, upper 40s is a good bet when you wake up Monday morning. So if you have not worn those light jackets yet so far this fall, I think tomorrow morning might be the morning that you have to get them out of the closet, okay? It's going to be a little chilly to start off the day tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon looks phenomenal. Just gorgeous. Tons of sunshine, like the brilliant, bright blue sky. Likely no clouds, if any, at all. Just beautiful, beautiful day. 71's our forecast high here in Louisville. A lot of us will hover around that 70-degree mark. But a few spots could stay in the upper 60s. Still below average for this time of year. We're usually around 75 with that high temperature. So just shy of that tomorrow. Okay, I'll get back to the 10-day for here at home in a minute. Let's talk about Milton, because this is really the main show in town, right? Earlier this evening, Milton was upgraded from a tropical storm to a hurricane. It's still kind of spinning in place. It hasn't really moved a whole lot in the last 24 hours. It's moved a little bit east, but not much just yet. It is still gaining strength, guys, and unfortunately, I sound like a broken record, I know, but this looks like it could be another hurricane that intensifies rapidly. I mean, the Gulf of Mexico is a bathtub with how hot it is or how warm the water is, and it's just going to have open rain to go due east right for the Florida Peninsula. Here's our updated forecast track from the National Hurricane Center. And if you notice, the major update with this latest forecast is we now have a possibility that this could not only be just a major hurricane, but a Category 4 again, which is what we had with Helene when it made landfall a couple of weeks ago. That would be winds around 130, 140 miles per hour. That's not good. Now, as we get towards landfall on Wednesday, which we still believe landfall will be sometime on Wednesday, it does weaken slightly, but it's still going to be a major hurricane. So you notice Wednesday afternoon, Milton will likely be a Category 3 storm, and the center of the cone. Remember, the cone only focuses on the center of the storm. And the center of the cone is kind of the most likely scenario as to where landfall will take place, right? That center of the cone is still just going bullseye for Tampa Bay. This could be a very, very rough hit for the Tampa Bay Metro, St. Pete, Sarasota, all of those beaches, all of those communities, Fort Myers even. This could be a pretty rough hit. So if you know anybody that is in this area, that lives down there, if you got any friends down there, if you have any interest down there, property interest, things like that, you might want to start going ahead and making calls and going into hurricane preps because this could be significant for this part of Florida. And you got to remember, especially down near Fort Myers and Naples, they're still recovering from Hurricane Ian 2 years ago. That was a wicked hurricane as well. It was a Category 4 when it hit back in 2022. But again, this is going to be a huge, huge issue for the western coast of Florida with that landfall possibly as a major hurricane on Wednesday. Zooming back out so you can see the entire forecast track. This will not be an issue for wave country. This will not be an issue for the Carolinas or Tennessee that had to go through so much a couple of weeks ago with Helene. It's just going to go due east, go back out into the Atlantic, and we can say good riddance, get out of here, don't come back. And the reason why it's going east like that is because of the cold front that's moving through here tonight. Remember, that cold front's going to sag south and east. It's going to basically be like a basketball player blocking a shot. It's going to keep Milton from moving inland, going over the same areas that were hit so hard by Helene. So that's why this is going to be an exclusive Florida issue in all likelihood. But yeah, it's not going to be good, guys. I do not like what I'm seeing looking at the data from this thing. Seems like it's all been in the Gulf of Mexico this year, especially. It's very, 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 very interesting. Ab's asking about what kind of level of drought we could get back to here at home since we're so dry. It's hard to say specifics. We're already still a little dry. Okay, we're already still a little dry, so it won't take much to go back into those higher drought categories, if that makes sense. And DJ King always asking about snow. Not yet. We're getting there. Maybe. We'll see. Weather Geek says none of that rain in Florida today is associated with Milton, correct? Correct. That is kind of a precursor, if you will. In fact, let me go to another map here real quick, and I can show you what Weather Geek is talking about, because that's another thing similar to Helene, I'm afraid, where you've got all of this rain in Florida this afternoon and this evening from kind of a stalled boundary. Kind of, you got a low out here in the Gulf, and here comes that moisture, just making it a washout of a day in the Sunshine State. Go figure. Thankfully, the rainfall rates today down there have not been too extreme, but the ground's going to be saturated. So when you got a hurricane coming in, which is out here, going back over the same spots, we're going to have some flooding issues. There's flood alerts all the way out through Thursday. Not focusing on today's rain up in Florida, but just with Milton, those areas could see another 5 to 10 inches of rain on top of what they've seen today. So flooding is going to be a huge issue. Storm surge will be a major concern. Kind of got lost in the horrific situation in North Carolina, but the areas that are going to get impacted the hardest from Milton saw extreme storm surge from Helene. There's all kinds of damage in that general area near Tampa, Pinellas County, which is one of the major counties there in the Tampa area. They saw significant storm surge from Helene, and now they may have to deal with direct landfall of a major hurricane 2 weeks later. It's unbelievable what's happening down there. Obviously, keep good thoughts with them. It's going to be rough there, especially by Wednesday. But yeah, the rain that Florida's seeing today has nothing to do with Milton. Katie's asking about Panama City. You guys are on vacation there this week. Milton will stay south of Panama City. Okay? You do not have to worry about hurricane impacts at this stage of the game. This will all stay south. Now, you might get, I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked at Panama City specifically, their specific forecast, but you might get some showers, might get some light rain, but you're on the quote-unquote good side of the system where all that mess is going to stay south of you. So no hurricane issues at this time for Panama City. So, Katie, hopefully that puts you and your family at ease. Enjoy your trip as best you can, right? Ann says, cooler temperatures coming our way in Kentucky. Yes, I will show you the 10-day here in just a second. Sean asked about Milton. Will this miss Orlando? It will not. It's so fascinating, this forecast track. This happens from time to time where it goes west to east like this, but I can't think of the last time that was similar to this, where it developed way out here near the Mexican coast. Whoops. And it went basically west to east, southwest to northeast. So it's going to stay a fairly strong storm as it goes over Orlando. Obviously, the main issue for Orlando would be the heavy rain and the wind. No storm surge since Orlando's inland. But yeah, they're going to have some issues in Orlando on Wednesday. So definitely make sure, Steve, that your family down there knows what's up. Judith's asking, what do they say about storm surge levels for Tampa Bay? We're looking at maybe 10 plus feet, maybe 15 feet again. It wasn't, I don't believe it was that high with Helene, but storm surge is storm surge, right? You get any kind of storm surge is going to cause significant issues, let alone have two major hurricanes cause significant storm surge in 2 weeks. Yeah, it's going to be bad. Latest I've seen is about 10 to possibly 15 feet, especially if the center of Milton makes landfall in the Tampa Bay area. That would not be a good scenario at all. Let's see. Danya says, hello from Hanover. Hope you're well up there in Jefferson County. Warren says, I'm in Daytona, and it has been a washout all day. Why does it always happen that way down when you're in Florida, vacation, or whatever you might have going on, and it always rains? Always, always, always. Warren, if you're going to be there later this week, just make sure you stay safe, my friend. Daytona, obviously on the opposite coast from where this thing is making landfall. So, you're not going to have to worry about storm surge a lot, but the heavy rain and wind will likely be an issue for you guys as well. Okay, so that's where we stand with Milton. Again, it is now a hurricane. It is now forecast to become a Category 4 hurricane as early as Tuesday morning. And the forecast currently has Milton making landfall near Tampa as a major hurricane on Wednesday. And of course, our whole team will be watching this very, very closely in the days to come. No impacts from Milton in wave country. Zero, zip, zilch, nada, nothing. Instead, here at home, I'll give you this 10-day forecast. That is really nice. It's very, very nice. We need this kind of a quiet stretch, right? 71 tomorrow, and you just notice that gradual climb up the steps, if you will, for the rest of the week. 73 Tuesday, 74 Wednesday and Thursday, 75 on Friday. The warmest days will be next weekend, actually, 77 and 78. But all in all, we're looking very comfortable with those highs in the 70s, of course, lows in the 40s. So, yeah, just very, very nice stretch ahead. I do want to mention before we go, this is Tuesday morning's low temperatures where you are. A lot of you outside the city will be in the lower 40s Tuesday morning. Might be, dare I say, cold Tuesday morning. And this is a very small chance, but I will mention it. A few outlying spots. I'm talking way out in the rural areas of wave country. Some of the cooler spots may get as cold as 39 degrees Tuesday morning. We may have a couple of 30s. I think that chance is slim, but it's something to watch. I don't see a huge frost concern at this point at all, but we'll see what happens. For most of us, it'll be the 40s. It'll just be a little chilly, but no frost, but still a shock to the system nonetheless, right? So we keep the 70s around through next weekend. As far as rain chances, one of our friends was asking about that earlier. I think it was Richard. There's not much. About a week from now, there's going to be a frontal boundary to our north and west, or a system to our north and west. Indications are that system's going to have a hard time getting here because there will be a big dome of high pressure nearby. So it'll kind of be a tug of war who's going to give first with that system. So right now, I'll keep the rain chances very low with that, around 10%. That's about it, guys. There's a very strong chance that you stay dry at your house for the next 10 days. So a very, very calm stretch ahead. Obviously, no alert days. We're not going to issue alert days for sunshine. We'll just keep the nice, seasonable, fall-like weather around for quite some time. If you're a fan of that summer heat like we had today, I think it's gone for a while. I do think it's gone for a while. So that's where we stand. Any last-minute comments, questions, thoughts, concerns before we wrap things up tonight? We'll keep a close eye on Milton, of course. Adam's got a good question about Milton. Is it going to re-strengthen into a hurricane once it moves back into the Atlantic? Doesn't look like that at this point. It looks like it'll become fairly disorganized as it moves back across into the Atlantic. Wow, Weather Geek's got a throwback here, and you guys will probably be stunned that I know this name. On behalf of the memory of the great Milton Metz, I protest this hurricane's name. Okay, old timers from Louisville. You know that name, right? You know Milton Metz, a legend in this town. My parents talked about him all the time. That's how I know him, because obviously I wasn't around when Milton was on the air. But anyway, good little throwback there, Weather Geek. Well done. Savannah's asking, any more severe weather threats for a while? Nothing. No severe weather concerns anytime soon. Thank goodness, right? Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap things up tonight. I don't want to ramble too long because, as you can see, the 10-day is nice and quiet. Again, we've got Dallas and Pittsburgh on Sunday Night Football tonight. They will likely have a lightning delay during that game, so just beware for any of those football fans out there, whenever that game ends tonight, be it 11:30, be it midnight, be it 1 a.m., 2 a.m., we will be here for a very late edition of Wave News. We'll have an updated look at Milton, of course, and we can just celebrate all this sunshine that we have on the 10-day forecast as well. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Have a great week. Enjoy the sunshine. Get those jackets out of the closet. You're going to need them, especially each morning over the next few days. And keep the good thoughts going with our friends down in the Sunshine State as they get ready to deal with another hurricane. All right, guys, we'll see you tonight on TV whenever that football game ends at some point. Good night.